Welcome back, folks, to the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. Today we have the OG, the original gangster, Alankaren of Satco. That's right. You bet. And you can know that this episode is brought to you by satco.com. They do the light thing, they do the right thing, Greg Ehrich.
And we're going to talk about that to kick off the show, but I got to wait for that. But before we do, Satco, man, they've got everything. Alan, anything new and hot you want to tell us about while you're on fresh?
I have to tell you, we just had a product council last week, and kudos to our product development team. Ton of new products just in BAA compliant. Nothing against you, Michael. Made in USA assembled product has become very important, especially on government opportunities that are out there. As you know, and you're seeing this out there, a tremendous amount of color selectable and wattage selectable options within products. I always think that's going to be a SKU reducer, but depending on the application, sometimes they want things dedicated.
Yeah,
So for the distributor, it could reduce the SKUs. For the manufacturer, I don't even think it doubles it. We may be up to tripling it.
Yeah, I agree
So,
with
but
that.
yeah, track is strong. Track limiters, color selectable TLEDs, additional UFO high bay products are coming out.
Pound that
A
table,
lot,
Alan.
a lot. It's all
Of
good.
course.
It's all good.
The gangsters, they do the light thing, they do the right thing, satco.com, and of course the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors. Satco is a long-time member. But now, we've already said hi, but how's it going, Alankaren?
It's going good. I'm excited to be here, but I'm a little bummed. My time on the board is up, and it was far greater positive experience than I ever thought before. So believe it or not, I've graduated. So I've been told I've graduated, but I have to tell you that who's ever a member, potential member on the distribution side, the manufacturing side, what a phenomenal experience working with the team. Getting to know a lot of good people and just having a lot of great open dialogue on our business. And there's no shortage of conversations in business today. Someone in my company says the world is upside down these days. So there's a lot to speak about.
For sure. Being on the board, I served on the board. I know Greg served on the board, and you get a real inside look at the lighting industry and what people are doing, and competitors open up to you, and there's discussions about the business, and it's actually, and being on the board, when Greg and I have made it, we've turned it from the working board into a true advisory board. So the commitment is very specific of how much time you spend working on Nailed. And
Right.
you really, Greg, we got it to a point now where they really just have to problem solve with us and come up with ideas. And there really isn't a lot of work outside of that, Greg.
And that's how a volunteer board, in my opinion, should be. Because the key word is volunteer, and that's what we want it to be. And Alan was a great example of somebody that we could run things by as an advisor, and he'd tell us, no, that's dumb, or yeah, do that. That's what we wanted. So thank you for doing that, Alan. Good work.
No, it's my thank you to the two of you for what you've done for NAILD today. I think the resurgence, I think the position it's in today compared to 10 years ago, a whole other level. So kudos, you two gentlemen have done an unbelievable job. And listen, when you're a manufacturer, any opportunity you get to be with distributors, and every manufacturer would say this, it's an opportunity to sell and grow your business, right? You've been able to really take these independent distributors, these entrepreneurs, and really create a forum for them to be able to network, see what's working, learn from each other, know what's not going to. It's you guys. You impressed me. You impressed me. That's probably why I'm bummed about leaving the board, more because of the relationships that came out of that developed because I was on the board, both professional and personally.
Of course, yeah.
True. And that just shows you the value of an organization that, can bring you much more beyond than financial benefit, and it opens
Right.
up everything. And
Well,
that's what I love about
Alan's number one contribution, of course, is cold cheese pizza.
it. I did have that. I
people
learned about
people are
that
going to
from
be
Alan.
like, "What?"
Yeah.
So
Got to have it. You go to Long
that's
Island, you get cold cheese. Yeah.
after you have your dinner, of course, and that invite is open to anyone. I can certainly take you around the town that I live in, and we will stop. We won't even talk about what cold cheese pizza really is, but hopefully we'll gather enough interest that we'll figure out how to get people to come to Long Island, and we'll make it a very worthwhile and beneficial and educational and tasty trip in.
That's always important. I want to read a letter. Is that okay, Mike? Is that too long?
No, go
Can I
for it,
read
brother.
this?
Sure.
This came out today, and we got the guy on here. Dear valued customer, we are living through unprecedented times. COVID has impacted us personally and professionally. We all face daily obstacles to navigate through with no playbook or manual for reference. The current business environment is so unique and dynamic that every day presents new challenges. The global supply chain is upside down. Our labor force is stressed to its limit. There are growing shortages of components and pricing pressures on most raw materials. Our ports are congested. There's a shortage of container, chassis, trucks, and drivers, yet business demand is robust and our overall economy remains strong. Satco has proactively addressed many of these issues to be best prepared for these uncertain times. Our warehouses are stocked. Our fill rates are high. We have more containers on the water en route to our DCs than ever before. We continue to introduce innovative products while simultaneously continuing to support the legacy lamp products that the market requires. And we all face daily headwinds and challenges that create instability and risk. And Satco is here to help. I know this is a get a grip show, but you're the first and only people that are doing this, and I love it. You have a 6-month price freeze on all products from your price list dated September 20th. Everyone else is coming to us and saying, price is going up, price is going up, price is going up. And distributors, we're all talking about it, like, how are we going to handle this? What do we got to do? Our website guys, like, I got to change the price every day. I got to go through all these products and change things. And you're doing the right thing, man. You're doing the right thing. I love it. Thank you.
You're
I had
welcome.
to read it.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So the president and owner of the company, Mr. Bill Gilden, when he drafted this letter, he sent it to myself as well as, I'm going to say, my counterpart on the product development and marketing side, Brian Brandis. We'd both been at the company a very long time. And we each read it separately. We replied back, and I was like, wow, that's bold. And obviously a little concerned. Can we, are we going out on a limb over here? And I think when you're a company that's been in business for over 55 years, again, I've been fortunate to work here for over 26 years, and it is a private family-owned business. We don't report to a bank, and I think when you look at the 6-month time frame, you got to look further out than that. So yeah, it's a bold statement to bring some stability to help everyone get through the fourth quarter and manage the first quarter of 2022. The challenge, and we bring in a lot of containers from overseas, and that the whole supply chain issue, it's real. The vessels out in the ports, the bottlenecking to get it in. We had a container in a port; it was blocked by other containers, couldn't get it for 3 weeks. But I think the way that Satco looks at things with our multiple distribution centers, you can't sell from an empty shelf, right? Inventory is king. And I think, and right now, we probably have the greatest amount of containers on the water that we've ever had. So we have strong inventory. I will share with you, we're not an expert on having inventory in the right DC every day of the week. So domestic freight is costing us more, but we just feel that, if we can supply the product, get it to distribution, to get it to the end user, hopefully we're laying that foundation of how we do our business, how important the relationships are, and how we go over and above. Listen, I always say today, and I think there's enough business for everyone out there, but I do always feel that distribution buys from a lot of manufacturers. And maybe we're not the number one manufacturer with every distributor out there. My goal, this is my one saying I'll give you today. I may never be their biggest one. I just want to be the favorite and the one that they go to. I mean, I think the both of you, not to put you on the spot, hey, you send me an email and you have those relationships with some other manufacturers. But I always try to get back to you quickly, give you a heads up, give you the most competitive price. And I just think that the relationships, that's what creates the opportunity. but then you have to follow through and have the inventory, do the shipping. If there's some issues, take care of the issues. It's just that simple. So yeah, I'm excited about it. We're working hard to just try to keep everything rolling.
What I like about it from Bill more than anything else is when everyone else is in panic mode, he sends the message of stability.
Yes.
I love that. Right? Like everybody's panicking, price increases. I mean, I shouldn't say names, beep it out later, Scott, but they're sending out all these alert, price alert, price alert, price alert. That's panicking. You guys are pushing the panic button, and Satco's sitting back and saying, you know what? We've been here 55 years. We're gonna take it a little. We might raise our prices down the road, but for right now, your partner Satco has your back. That is such a good feeling right now with everybody, with such short-term plans and outlooks. It's nice to see Bill sitting back and saying, you know what, tell our customers we're here for them. We got their back. Don't worry. I really like that,
No,
Greg and Alan.
I don't know if he's sitting back, and I do, as much as yeah, listen. I'm fortunate enough to work for the best president of a company, in North America, maybe even in the world. So, he does get it. He's extremely smart. He's very, very hardworking. He's the first in and the last one out. And I might say that I don't think he can sell better than I can sell, but he can certainly run a company, and better than most people that's out there. I do want to say, we did implement a couple of price increases. It was, and we've had, and people will say this, you can have containers today that can cost 50, 75, 100% the cost of the goods that are on the container. It's challenging for the manufacturer in many cases, if you have commodity goods that are taking up a lot of cube, to really be profitable with it. So it's a challenge. Most of the time, I'm not speaking for all distributors. I'll turn around, hey, when I get the price, I'm going to add what I add onto it, and that's what they're going to have to pay at the end of the day. I mean, we've been challenged the last few years when the tariffs went in. All we didn't raise, we raised the amount that it was the tariff. Impacted our margin because we know there's other costs associated with the business. But I think, with our diversified offering of products, our extensive network and relationships with distribution, and again, this is 6 months. I don't want to make anyone else feel uncomfortable. We try to be partners with everyone within the industry, but we did want to at least try to make distribution feel somewhat comfortable knowing that if they're doing certain jobs and bids and quotes, that will give them pricing, and they know they're good for the next 6 months on it.
Well, you did that, so thank you. Now,
No,
in terms of the shipping issues and things that are going on, speaking from a manufacturer standpoint, is it specific products that are causing problems or being delayed? I know shipping is delayed, but when you're actually getting the stuff made, are there tubes harder to get, bulbs, fixtures, kits, or does it not matter? Everything's hard.
it could be. It doesn't matter. It really
Okay.
depends on what your on-hand inventory is, right? What kind of jobs or sales volume that you have going, what your forecasting was, and then what the holdup is out in the port. So it could vary by product item, and that's why you see it across all industries. I mean, watch the news. You go into a supermarket, the shelves are empty. Someone just told me this was crazy. Someone saw a sign in a Dunkin' Donuts. We have no donuts today due to supply shortages, but we have bagels and muffins.
Good luck.
That's a problem. That's a
Yeah,
problem.
Yes. Wow.
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think it's across the board, and again, we're not perfect on inventory. You try to do your best, but then again, when other people are out of products, things shift to other manufacturers, and sometimes you get short.
Mhm. You see an end in sight on this from your standpoint, where it will get better again, back to the old days?
I come on here, I want to be positive,
Okay, good.
and
No, you want
I
to be
don't know.
real. You want to be real,
Yeah.
man.
All right,
Be
all right. I
real.
want to be real. I don't know. Sometimes I turn around and I say, is it that the container shortage? Is it all because they're out at sea on the vessels? Or they're stuck in the ports? Because we tried to move some manufacturing to some other countries, but there were issues with containers being available. I don't know. That everyone's asking that question. You have, all the economists on there saying, "Hey, when will we see it end before 2022?" So I think things, we're going to continue to do what we do. We're going to continue to manufacture, create new products, carry the inventory that we can, and just, Michael, do the right thing, do the light thing.
There you
So
go.
yeah, Greg, I love when I plug myself. Anyway,
Yeah, sure.
I
Yeah.
wish I had a better answer for you, but I don't know. It's it's not ending as soon as I would like it to end.
Greg, can I
Got
answer
it.
that question a little bit, maybe to riff
Please
on
do. Yes.
what Alan was
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I think what I think this is the first time since the whole thing started. Like when COVID started, Alan, I told Greg that I might never see him again. Okay, that's what that's what I said to him, and he's like, "No way!" No, no, no. I'm like, I don't know, man. The way this thing is going, and so we've had all this thing happening specifically within the lane. This is the first time the container shortage. That's an interesting problem. You start to see the how interconnected the world is in terms of minor components. Like you can't buy a new car because there's no chips. Your new phone's 6 weeks away, and we're starting to see the fragility of the structure we've built. And that's where companies with deep roots in the lighting business and have long time, like what you might see in these times is a bit of a shakeup, right? Where you see the exiting of some people from businesses, where the strong survive. I don't know, and only from a lighting perspective, Greg, I don't know if that's so unwelcome. In the lighting world, there's a lot of lighting companies, okay? And specifically in Toronto, there's a lot of people selling LED lights. If 50% of them left, I'd still be here. I want to be last man standing. I know Satco feels the same way. That we're in this for the long haul. So while we're negotiating these problems and we see the fragility of the industry, that's an opportunity for the strong to make inroads into areas. That's an opportunity for people to thrive through those seams where they open up. Oh my, there's no containers or whatever. That's where you look for solutions. So sometimes these when the economists, the what do they call them, the dismal scientists, whenever those people are predicting things or talking about things, what they're talking about is opportunities for the strong to thrive. That's what they're talking about. It's a good way to look at it, especially if you really know a business, Alan.
Right. No, I agree with you, Michael. I think that, I don't want to use the word cleansing, right? But, and I've been, I always think I'm still on the younger side of things, but I've been doing it for a while. And I'm always amazed in life how there's new business challenges. I mean, I think when we were just selling the legacy products, right, whether it was lamps or fixtures, luminaires, it was much simpler. And now we moved into the electronics industry, and there are challenges on the chip end of it that we didn't have before. And then you bring COVID on top of it, and then you bring a container, and the pricing structures. It's crazy. I always think, can it become more difficult than it is? We're in difficult times right now. And a lot of this doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. But listen, I think that could be an exciting part of business, right?
Well,
Never a dull moment.
that's why free enterprise is such a wonderful system because when you have these top down systems where what are the problems, the government's going to solve the problems. Instead, companies, yeah, you have some bankruptcies, some people leave the industry, whatever, but people are seeking out the problems in their little niche of the world. What are you responsible for? How can you make this better? How can you serve your lighting customers better or whatever, screws, bolts, plumbing supplies. And that's why the free enterprise, free market system is so much more resilient than other types of economic systems, simply because alankaren thinking about, within Satco, is thinking about how do I serve the distributors better? And the government doesn't have to worry about that. The government doesn't have to worry about the distribution of light bulbs because Satco's pretty motivated to sell them and they don't need any help.
I say, the best thing that I could say is, I'm pretty fortunate to work for and with a company like Satco that is very, very proactive. Listen, we're not perfect, but we work hard every day. We're proactive. We try to address issues, and I have to tell you that you know, having the relationships with both of you, right? I mean, that's the best part of this whole. At the end of the day, listen, we want to take care of our families, we want to make money, but what do you really get out of it? And I have to tell you, whether it's the nailed board members, just across all the channels of business that we do, I love the fact when you can do this. And actually, I wish it was in person rather than via Zoom. Um, but that's what I love about the industry the most, the people that are in it.
Definitely. Now, in terms of legacy lamps, are you guys are still supporting stocking? Is that I read something today that somebody's trying to get rid of fluorescent lamps now. But what's the future legacy? Where are we at with it?
So, I think our view, it depends what your business strategy is at the end of the day. I can tell you that I've always looked at our business that I wanted to be the resource. I want to be the company that a distributor calls when they're looking for a product. And what's nice is that, and our business has changed tremendously. LED has changed everything from the types of product that we supply to who even the competitors are. Who are the big three? Who are the big three, whether it's lamps or luminaires, right? I look at, we will continue to supply incandescent, halogen, fluorescent, whether it's screw-in plug-ins or tubes, for as long as there is a need in the market. I mean, what's crazy is there's still a lot of sockets that have an F40 T12 Cool White Deluxe in it. Other companies can have a strategy. Hey, I'm going to focus on LED. That's their strategy. That may work great for them. To me, I want Michael and Greg picking up the phone or emailing me and saying, Alan, does Satco have this? And that's what I go out and I do every day. And it's amazing that, I can meet with people and they'll say, oh, I didn't know you have that. I didn't know you have that. Even though that could be frustrating, that's the greatest opportunity.
That's your tagline. We do the right thing, we do the light thing. I didn't know you have it. Is actually your real tagline. Because Satco almost always has it.
So and then both of we try to do some sourcing on specialty items if you need it. I guess it's just an approach to business that it's our approach. It's what's worked well for us, and being able to be that resource and offer a diversified offering of traditional legacy product to the emerging LED technology end of it, right? And I think it's a sweet position to be in.
I'm going to reiterate that because I hate turning away customers. When someone calls or, hopefully when the counters open back up fully and that when they walk in and, we kind of have a secondary tagline here and that is, we'll tell you what you need, but sell you what you want. Right? Not everybody wants a big job. They don't always want to change everything. The maintenance guy comes in. Hey, could you have a box of daylight 4-foots? Hey, do you want to change those over to 6,500? No, I just want a box of 4-foots, and I got to put the lamps in the area. And I want to get out of here actually, because if I'm going to spend more than the box, the $130 box of tubes, I got to go get a thing, and then it's a big project, and the lights are out in the corridor right now, and I need to change them. They don't want to have a big story, right? And I want to serve those people. I want to stay with those people. I want them to come back to me every time they need lighting. And I don't want to send them away. And, that doesn't mean I want to have a million, CDM metal halides back there, or, we carry a light load, but I want to be able to serve those people. And I think it's important to do that from what I do every day as a company that supplies lighting supplies to people, restaurants or whatever, and all these different things that are coming back now. And I often look to, not always, but I often look to Satco for support on hard to find. I mean, how many times have I emailed you, Alan, flat out, hey, Alan, you got these? Yeah, we got 48 in stock in Texas. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Michael, it's a challenge. I think it's also based on the fact that, it's the way we grew up in the business. We still see that there's a market and an opportunity for it. And we'll continue to supply those products. I mean, we have 15,000 items in the line. So that's a broad offering from a
Sure
manufacturer,
it is.
right?
Yep.
But it's worked well for us. So as much as I'd love to embrace change, sometimes we stick with what's been working, and that lays the foundation for us to be able to expand and go in some other different directions. So it's would I love to sell something that's better for the environment, that'll last longer, consume less energy, and so forth? Absolutely. But just like you said, I want to be the resource and have that customer that's coming in for the Daylight Deluxe tubes. I want them to come back the next time they need something.
Yeah, and I think you said, Greg, on the last podcast, and I'll throw it over to you here. Um, who are we to say at the end of the day? You know what I mean? I think you said that
Hmm.
before, Alan. Like, who is Alankaren or Michael Colligan to dictate terms to somebody when they want to buy a light bulb? You know what I mean? It's like, no, 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 you can't use that. There's mercury in it. Well, it's for sale. It's here. Here you go. Now, if you want to ever
Yep.
change those, let me know, Greg.
That's right. Give them the option. Key at the end of the day is to sell it. Sell something, right?
Sell something.
That's what you need to
Sell,
do.
sell something that works in the proper application.
Mm-hmm.
That's
There you go.
that's the
That's better.
that's what's most important.
So, Alan, you've always been a traveling man on the road all the time. That's changed a little, I think. But is it coming back? Are you hitting customer visits?
I am. I was last week. Last week I was in Nashville, Orlando,
Yeah.
Tampa, Jacksonville.
Oh, more than one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was a bit. I have some meetings in the office this week, but I am heading out for Wednesday and Thursday. The week after, I'll be out in Dallas, Light Fairs in New York. A couple of the shows, the smaller regional shows, I've seen some great attendance at. Um, we'll see what Light Fair brings. We did reduce our booth size there, even going off on a little bit of another subject. I'm sure we could circle back on Light Fair. But yeah, I'm back to traveling. I'm being as safe as I can possibly be. There's never right, wrong, or indifferent. There's always a mask. There's always a mask around, and I'm traveling because I feel comfortable enough, and that when I come home, my family will be okay as well. But yeah, I'm back out there, if just like I was before.
Nice. And that was going to be my next topic was trade shows. You started talking a little bit about it. What are the ones that you have gone to, and how were they different, or what was good about them?
So I'll share this with you. We did try NECA, National Electrical Contractors Association, for the first time. I wanted to try that a couple of years back when it was going to be in Chicago. That was a stretch for us. You had a number of distributors there. I think they had a strong contractor. We go through distribution. Everything goes through distribution. So that was, I think they had a good showing as far as attendance there. I was at another trade show, NALMCO, National Association of Lighting Management Companies. They had pretty strong foot traffic there for the membership. And again, these are some smaller, it's not a light fair. It's not a New York auto show. So I think, and depending on where they're located also, if it's not necessarily, San Francisco or New York City. So it really depends on the size of the show and who's attending it. But the last couple of shows that I've been at were pretty good. I did a show a couple of months ago that was more in home automation. That wasn't successful, unfortunately. I think they probably had 20% of the exhibitors that would have been there pre-COVID, and the attendance, it's unfortunate. So I think doing a show, there's a little bit of a gamble, and it depends on how people are feeling about COVID. When the show comes around.
Have
So
you had
just light
the?
fair, real quick.
Yeah.
Go
Well,
ahead, Greg.
before you get into that, has any of them been similar to what Light Fair is, where you have to wear a mask the whole time, prove vaccination, that kind of thing?
No, so I've been at shows where I've had a mask on, and I've been at shows where I haven't worn. Not that everyone needs to know I'm vaccinated or whatever. I had an antibody infusion, so I feel like I'm bulletproof from for at least the next 90 days or whatever, right? I've done, I've gone into cars with people with masks on. The last couple of shows that I was at, no one was wearing masks. The
Okay.
masks are in the cabs to the airport, while you're in the airport, and while you're on the plane. Even the hotels, the people working the hotels are wearing masks. But so I think it depends on where you're going and what the comfort level is.
Sure. So let's jump
So
into Light Fair. That's next week.
Light Fair will be interesting.
Yeah.
Because they sent out a memo last week. So masks, you need to show vaccination cards. New York City has a much more stringent rules that are coming into play.
Do you have any idea on what the attendance as a exhibitor? Do they give you numbers and attendance figures, anything like that?
Someone shared with me that that there are today about 200 exhibitors registered for it. So of course my question was, well, in a perfect year, how many exhibitors are there? And I believe the number. I don't want to give false information, but I think it may have been twice that amount. But I will tell you that I'm getting a lot of inquiries from people that I do know that will be attending. Normally, I have to send them out invites to get them passes to come in. They've opened it up where it's all free now. So I feel like I'm pitching Light Fair here. It's free. Come to Light Fair. They got great manufacturers showing and great educational sessions.
Well, I give
Right.
Leah Trinakos and the team down there respect, man, for pushing forward. Actually, especially in a place like New York, which is so strict on everything. I think that they deserve some kudos. So yeah, I don't have any problems with that. I mean, we're all in this together at the end of the day, like you said, Alan. It's not like we don't hate our competitors. We enjoy them. We have fun, when we speak with them and we honor them and their contribution to the industry. So I'm quite proud of Light Fair. I wish I could go, but I won't be going there. But I don't have a problem with giving them props for pulling this thing off, Greg and Alan.
Absolutely. No, I'm excited. I'm actually going now too, Alan. I just decided last week, so I'll be there. But
All right, cool. Cool.
yeah, no, it's something that I think it's a starting point, and then hopefully Vegas is back to full go. We'll see.
Listen, my son's in another industry, and he was in Vegas last week. It was busy there. He's going back to Vegas at the end of the month for another trade show. So it becomes up to the individual. Obviously, there's some travel restrictions, but the U.S. is opening things up, Michael. That as long as you can show proof of vaccination and so forth, you can come into our country. Listen, I haven't been to Canada in a couple of years, and we have a great business up there, and I miss the Canadians, eh?
Yeah.
So seriously, I can't wait to travel up.
Yeah, it's a strange time, Alan, and I just want to say thank you for your service to the board of directors and for your support of the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast, man. It's been, one of the things, like you said, it's just been so good to get to know you. I knew you before, as a nailed guy, always shaking hands, always there, supporting the industry and supporting Nailed. But now I got to know you personally, and it's been such a pleasure. And also, Billy and Brian and everyone else at Satco. So thank you for what you've done for Nailed and for the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. We really appreciate you.
No, well, thank you to both of you again. It was. I got much more out of it than I ever expected. And at any time, if there's anything that I can do to support the organization, it's an email or a phone call. And I think it's great. I think of the members that are part of it and the business that they're running, and they're all really good people. Just trying to make it. They're just good people. So kudos to you guys for resurrecting and really saving the organization. And making the investment, personally to make that happen. So you guys are awesome.
I'm going to throw that over to Spencer Miles and Corey Schneider, who really, we're there in the dark times of Nail, but we're back, folks. That's right. We're back. That's right. You got to go to naild.org right now and join. What are you waiting for? It's never been a better time to join Nailed. All manner of educational products from LS Evolve and all that. But special thanks today to the gangsters, the OG, alankaren, VP of Distribution Sales. Did I get the exact title right?
Perfect.
VP
Sales,
of Distribution
that's
Sales at satco.com. Satco, they do the right thing. They do the light thing. They do the right thing. Yeah! Satco.com, folks. That's right. Especially if you're an electrical distributor and you don't want to carry a lot of lines, Satco is the answer for you. For sure. And of course, the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors and all you listeners out there, we thank you from the bottom of your hearts if you made it this far. Bye for now.
Thank you all.